Yeah. So Gregor's not here tonight. Gregor's actually playing a gig with his wedding band. I'm merely a projection from his mind while he's playing Brown Eyed Girl. But I will be taking over the show tonight. No, not at all. It's just a pre-record, guys. Don't worry, eh? It's not a predator. It's your boy G. Anyway, yeah. So basically, last time we were building a track, and I was doing it on Logic 10, which is obviously the platform that I use, the same operating system that I use for streaming from. But tonight, because this is a pre-record, because like I say, I'm actually gigging, doing another job as a professional musician, which I have to do. If I could only do this full time and get paid for it, that would be ideal. But no. Anyway, so yeah, basically tonight what we're going to do is continue on with the production of the track that I come up with. It was a track that was completely come up with spur of the moment, and really we just got the guitars and the drums. So even just exporting this onto this version of Logic 9, which is the one that I use and the one that I'm most comfortable with, brings about its own problems, and it just reminds me why I'm not moving up to Logic 10 still. But I need to get on with it. But it's workflow, man. It makes it much easier if you can really know something inside out, and you've worked through all these problems so many times that you understand the system, and you know anything that goes wrong you can fix like that. Can't do that when you move into a new sequencer, and that's why it's kept me for a while. But anyway, no excuses. But tonight, I've not even told anyone about this, but if you're a total geek and you're wanting some production tips, then tonight I'm basically laying everything on the table because I'm working off of, let's say, the DAW that I use, the Logic Pro 9, and Logic Studio 9, and you'll see all the plugins and everything else I use that I can't otherwise use when I'm using Logic 10, because a lot of these plugins had to be 64-bit, and a lot of them are actually 32-bit and blah, blah, blah. And to be honest, if something works for you, it does everything you need, then I just run with it. Don't worry about having it's like having the latest clothes, you know what I mean? It's just a fashion thing sometimes, I believe. If you get everything you need from your sequencer, why not stick with it? It's all about workflow. It's about a creative process. It's not a mathematical process, you know? So anyway, we are going to look at this track. Now I have dropped this in. I'll come out of this. Yeah, there we go. Just going to check that we are we recording? Yes, we are. Good. Okay then, so basically what I've done here, I've dropped this track into Logic Studio. We get a very quick listen. This is what we had last week. Yeah, so there you go. Anyway, that's as far as we got with that track. It was that, and we had a kind of a bridge riff here. It sounds very brash because it's actually I've taken all the effects and everything off. Yeah, what I've done there. Hello again. Let me minimise myself, bring myself into the party. There we go. Yeah, so just to show you what I've done here now, these tracks, these are all just the dry guitar effects. I've not actually put any amp simulators or anything on because I wanted to bring it over into my setup here and show you exactly what it is I do. So if you look there, you'll see that I've got that limiter in the middle. Part of the reason I've got the limiter on there, or the main reason, is because the actual volume going into the QuickTime player I'm using to record this whole thing, I've had to sound check it about 10 fucking times, and I think I've just got it right. But this is just keeping things in check, making sure nothing gets too loud on the actual recording, so it just doesn't fuzz away actually at your end, not at my end per se. But anyway, up here we've got the tracks. Now I just dropped them all in. Okay, so I can only flick between one screen at a time. Bye. There we go. Right, anyway, so this, we're going to start off what we got in the drums here now. The drums, yeah, just a basic loop, that. Nice bass drum note. I always tell you to watch out for your actual low end frequencies, because that note, that bass drum is a note, and it will clash if you're not in tune. That bass drum's not in tune with the rest of the track. But this is just a loop. Anyway, loops I think are great, man, because I spent a long time building up everything I ever done from the ground up, you know, and I always, I always look back and I don't know if that was a lot of time wasted. Yeah, what's the problem with prefabricated bits, you know? You're not cheating anyone, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if you're creating a song, yeah, big deal. It's like having a drummer playing for you, really. That's the way I look at it. Don't get too caught up with the whole kind of fashion trend thing again. You know, everything was built from the ground up, everything was analog, blah blah blah. If it works, man, just use it. So anyway, that's the bass drum loop. So I'm going to go into the EQ here, Logic EQ. Yeah, so there's the Logic EQ there. Now it's just telling me what frequency. I've got the spectrum analyzer on. You see there's quite a lot of bass in this. I have actually taken some of the bass off. Yeah, good start, man. Computer's not playing ball. Oh, there we go. Finally. Yeah. Ha! Right, okay, so good. Yeah. End up with a mad curve there for some reason. Oh, bassy. Yeah, so that's completely ruined that curve. Anyway, let's just put a new, brand spanking new EQ on. Now this sound is maybe a wee bit too bass drum, a bit too bassy. Yeah, I always put a peak on the frequency here. Have a look. This here, I always put a kind of peak on that, and I go looking for the frequency that's annoying me. If I really jack up the frequencies in that area, it makes it easy to just identify what is the really annoying frequency. Like, I'll show you. Yeah, some of these frequencies you might not want, but it's the ones that are really annoying. Like that, down 55, too low. It's just getting a wee bit too fat in the bottom end there. So I might put in this, what you call high pass filter, which just lets all the high frequencies pass through here, because this is the low frequencies, the high frequencies. This is the EQ, obviously. This is the Logic 9 in-house EQ. So there we go. Still want maybe a bit more bassy. I wouldn't want to take anything too drastic off, but you know, about 30 hertz or so with a slope, 36 or 40 in that case. That's a bit good there. Okay, good. So what we got here now? We do have some kind of guitar and bass riffs, I believe. So let's just see what's what. Like I say, I've just dropped these in, so I need to kind of work out what is what. These are dry tracks that we're just going to manipulate and throw all the G-Man's favourite effects on. So this is the show to geek out to and actually learn something, because this is the programs I use. I won't be doing this again, ever. Thanks for tuning in. Anyway, okay, so that's a guitar. That's kind of funky, two funky guitar parts. That's a kind of, yeah, see, that's supposed to be a kind of, stereo part. Now, these were recorded very quickly. Last week when we were doing this, we kind of, we just thrashed out some guitar parts, and it was just a riff, and it worked, you know what I mean? And that's where I ran with it, which is a good thing to do in the creative process. Don't get too worried about making everything perfect when you put it in first. Just get the ideas in, because often you're inspired and you want to just really get in about it. So I would say run with that. Don't worry about the technical side. That can all get sorted later. That's the kind of that's the boring bit in some cases. Not always, but yeah, the creative bit. Just get it all in there as quick as you can. You want to get those hooks in there, those riffs, the things that really make the song tick. Then you can worry about all the bells and whistles and stuff on top that we're going to show you tonight. But anyway, here we go. So there we go. That is my Yamaha bass right there. Now what I'm going to do is put on my old favourite channel strip. I've got a channel strip already made up here. I'll just show you. Yep, G bass. Now what that is, if you can see that, if the resolution of this allows you, what I've got on this, I've got a guitar amp, okay, which is Waves guitar amp. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's the best sounding thing that I've heard for guitars, and I kid you not, because I'm a Valve amp purist. It's got to be 100%, you know, the real thing always. And you know, forget how a 412 Marshall cabinet, say, fills the room, because it does. It gives a real presence of sound, and that's the bit you got to remember, is how it comes down the mic. That is what matters. And these programs, I mean, because I've got a Marshall stack downstairs, I've got a Fender Twin, got the PV Classic there, there's a few different amps, really nice amps as well, Valve amps, and I've had all sorts of different mics on those amps, and nothing really compares, to be honest, to you. No, nothing actually, everything compares. There's nothing missing as far as this Waves guitar amp plugin. I've matched it up, the so-called, like, you know, Fender sounds and stuff. I've matched it up with my actual Fender, and it sounds fantastic. There's no need to actually plug in an amp. It's a bit of hassle really, and you can't really do anything with the sound after. And even all your kind of big guitarists, yeah, I'm thinking there's a few kind of guitarists. One guy, John Mayer, that's who I'm talking about. Yeah, John Mayer. I mean, these guys are kind of, you know, valve amp purists, etc. But he even said himself, he just goes in and I think uses Amp Farm or something like that, which is another one. But this Waves stuff, Waves is the granddaddy of plugins. Anything you get for Waves is great. So anyway, let's get this amp on. So this amp is there. We've also got an EQ. Okay, I'll talk you through that in a minute. But let's just concentrate on this amp sound here. Okay, so nice. I'm going to take a wee bit of that treble off of that. Yep. Now I've got that on the 212 closed back setting, as in the speaker. Good punchy sound. If you go to like an 810, which is another kind of classic kind of bass sound, I like those ones. Other ones are all guitar based, you know, 8-inch speaker. It doesn't sound bad considering actually. 412 vintage, I like that one. Yeah, 412 vintage was alright there. Let's just hear that again. Yeah, either that or 212 close back. 212 close back's a wee bit more in your face. Yeah. So what I've done is I've got an EQ on that, and I've actually swept a bit of the bass out. You see, you get a lot of quite unmanageable frequencies, I think, from bass guitars. Anything lower than about 40 hertz is, yeah, it gets a bit muddy, I find, you know. So I often take it off there. And I'm just taking a wee bit out of 1500. That must be. What I'm going to do is go looking for that kind of clicky frequency. So like I say, I've spiked up the Q there on the surgical EQ. I just go into it. Yeah, that's annoying. 2,300, in between 2,500 to 3,500 hertz is always murder. It's like nails down a blackboard. All these frequencies you want to avoid. So here we go. That's quite nice. You got to watch taking too many or too big kind of Qs out of things. And I used to think it was alright to stack up EQs, but sometimes if you've got two different things, maybe one's got a dip at 2,300 and one's got a dip at, say, you know, 2,000, then you end up with a kind of overlap of the two, almost like arches, almost like an M, you know, and that then creates kind of phasing problems. You got to watch out for that. So if you can do everything on the one EQ, then great, stick with that. So anyway, always a wee bit of horrible frequency around 500. Between 300 and 500, always something bad going down there. There we go. Take that out. So I'm just, let's say, jacking up the frequency, finding one I don't like, then taking a dip in it. And that's just by using the actual kind of gain up and down control. Then here we go. Nice bass sound. Now I've got two bass parts here, it seems. I'm sure it goes on a bass part here, is it? Yeah. So I'm just going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all these settings over on the channels here. This is me just into the mixer section, by the way, of Logic, by the way, as they say in Glasgow. Right, okay, so I'll see if I can just maybe drop that onto the same channel, make our life a wee bit easier. Bum 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 bum. Yeah, I'm just going to put a wee crossfade there. And if I zoom in on that frequency, yeah, it's actually because you get a wee click sometimes if they're not right on the 0 point when they intersect, like these two samples here. If you line up two samples, see that one's overlapping a bit there. Yeah, but they're not bad because the wave's not too big. Let me just zoom it in a wee bit if I can. There we go, yeah. Well, you can actually see it's just on the intersection, it's a wee bit off. So I'm just going to move that in itself halfway through a wave, you know, like about here. If you cut a bit here, then you'll end up with a click, you know, so we don't want that. So I put a crossfade as well, which, I mean, they're basically a bit rough, to be honest, man. I'm definitely going to revisit all these patterns, and I'm a typically self-deprecating musician, yes indeed. Oh, this song, you know, everyone that's, by the way, every musician I know always seems to start, you know, with an excuse. You know, people play a demo, you know, we weren't, you know, at best that day, we didn't like the studio, but whatever they say, but they almost tell you what to think before you've thought it. So when you're playing your stuff to people, remember that, don't put an idea in their head first. They'll tell you, it depends if they're honest stuff. Enough. Anyway, right, let's see what we got here. Okay, so this should have a bit of bass and drums together. Let's see how these are vibing. Oh, take all that out. Here we go. Oh, nice. Yeah. like that, man. I really like that. But what I normally do, I normally route my bass here to another. I've got a bass. This is all my kind of default settings. Use BOR bass. That was Bags of Rock bass. But I spent a lot of time. Anytime I do an album or anything creatively, if I should do something like that involves something creative or whatever, or something. If I'm getting paid to do jobs in my studio as I do, then obviously I'm working in time constraints, etc. But if I'm doing something myself, then I spend a lot of time in it. Obviously, studio time, a studio is not going to cost me because it's my studio, obviously. So I do spend a lot of time, and that's where I really learn exactly about production. I'm totally self-taught, but that's not a big deal because self-taught's not like being a self-taught guitarist in the 60s or whatever, because, you know, let's be real here, YouTube is your teacher, really. You know what I mean? You can look up Google for anything, you know what I mean, and it'll always give you an answer. So the idea of being self-taught, I don't really think applies so much anymore. You know what I mean? I have had some people showing me things as well. But yeah, anyway, so like I say, you know what I mean, with the actual kind of creative process, you know, we want to make sure... Yeah, that's it. Number one is making sure that all the stuff that you're doing, you know, you enjoy it for a start. That's a good vibe to it. Indeed, and I am enjoying this, man. Yep. Okay, good stuff. So... yeah. Now, I was going to put that through the BOR bass chain. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. This is what I use, the Jack Joseph Puig. This Jack Joseph Puig is an engineer. He's worked with the Rolling Stones and people like that. And he's also done a lot of plugins and things for Waves. The Jack Joseph Puig stuff is pure brilliant, by the way. This here. Yeah, I like to use it on the chain for the actual... group channels, as we call it. So this is a kind of preset that we made up. Sorry, yeah, actually, I was drifting off there in a different conversation. But yeah, basically what I was saying was, yeah, the creative process, any time that I'm getting stuff together for myself or whatever, as Hotknife in particular, you know, I'm always learning because you're spending that much time on doing stuff. You know, you do it till it's perfect. You don't need to worry about being in the studio one night and going, oh, God, I need to go and pay next night, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, obviously I can do exactly what I want in here, and that really helps as well. This is the good thing about doing this for a living. It pays for itself. As some people's dream job, they would say, but I mean, it's a hustle, don't get me wrong, but yeah. Oh, at the same time, if you're working your motor skills every day, even if I'm recording a kind of, you know, karaoke singer or something like that, you know, I do get these bookings. Their money's the same colour as everyone else, but I'm still going to learn something every time I switch my computer on, and that's good. You can always bring that back into your own production. Anyway, right, okay, so on to the bass, right, the bass and the drums here. Very cool. Now, I'm going to jump on the guitar here. What I'm going to do is once again throw on some kind of, like, you know, presets that I've got. Funnily enough, again, the Waves guitar amp, always brilliant, man. G Disco Strat, now that's exactly right up my street, innit? There we go, the G Disco Strat. Yeah. Valhalla Vintage Verb. Oh, I'm giving away all my secrets tonight. Yeah, that is stunning. Use that and everything. Anyway, right, okay, so here we go. That's my channel strip. Starts off with a wee bit of EQ on the initial signal, then we get waves, guitar amp, 412s selected. This is my kind of... So the 412 sounds nice. Sometimes it's nice to get a 212. I'll show you the difference here, because when it goes on, you see it's all sharper. So that's a 412, okay? A 212 kind of type sound here. One more in your face. I quite like that. It's a wee bit more brighter, you know what I mean? Depends what the other ones are doing. First things first, though, let's get these rhythm guitars sorted. These are my very Nile Rodgers-esque type rhythm parts. So let's just, yeah, get a wee going with that. Where are we? Where are we? Yeah, I need to put on a wee bit of my channel strip. Same old channel strip, G's Disco Strat, as I call it. There we go, there it is. Perfect. just what the doctor ordered. Now, I'm also going to colour code my parts because I do like to keep them colour coded. Pink for the drums, bass, guitar. Yeah, put guitar in this kind of blue colour. This is nice. I'm liking this. Maybe even slightly colour the guitars differently for different parts. Yeah, that makes sense. So put that there. I believe they're the same. Yeah, a wee bit. Yes, I like to keep a clean operation, so to speak, when you're doing this with kind of guitar, or sorry, with anything, colouring in the tracks, because they do become awfully confusing. I've even confused myself there because I've coloured a couple of them in wrongly. So there we go, I'm colouring in the actual channel strip on the sequencer here and down here on the mixer. It's a shame it just doesn't do it at the same time, but when you get used to using a sequencer, you learn through all its little quirks and you just kind of accept them. It's like DIY in the house that I've been meaning to get to forever. There's a spoon handle in my window handle at the moment. It's been there for about 3 years and I've become perfectly used to it. You kind of do the same with sequencers as well. Okay, so I'm just going to put this on. I mean, you can tell the quality of sound just jumps right through the speakers there, man. It's, a big difference when you do that. And you put all these effects onto it. These are all, presets. It's kind of like I'm talking about samples as well, prefabricated things. Don't be frightened to use presets, or sorry, samples, because in a way it's kind of like, just having your presets, you know what I mean? It's just something that's been, pre-prepared in a Blue Peter-esque style, you know what I mean? You've basically prefabricated a channel strip, and I think that's as legitimate an argument as using a sample or something that's prefabricated. I've made a lot of samples as well, and I just have them in my kind of favourites folder. And I go on Splice as well. Splice, what I'm going to talk you through, you'll see in a bit. Yeah, I've got all my favourites on there, and I don't see any problem. I hear some people moaning about Splice saying, oh, you should make your samples from the ground up and blah, blah, blah. But the dance floor doesn't care. This is what I'll tell you every week. The dance floor doesn't care. Dance floor doesn't care whether you were a vinyl DJ, a CD DJ, a laptop DJ, a super sonic, hyper invisible screen DJ in the future, or whatever it is we're doing. Dance floor won't care. It'll still move and it'll still enjoy music. So don't get arsey about it. Keep your feet on the ground, man, and just make music. Don't worry about the technological side. Anyway, so yeah, these presets, there we go. Oh, now that's fact. Whoa, nice. So what I'm going to group these channels together. Right, guitar, we need to make sure that's got its own. There we go, guitar. What I do on group channels, by the way, a wee tip here, is I always write them in capital letters. I never colour them in either, just so that they're easily identifiable. Everyone else is written in a lowercase, maybe some capitals in it, but always full capitals for the channels on the kind of master channels here. It just helps you differentiate. So I'm going to put on I've got a prefabricated channel, and another one that uses one of these Jack Joseph Puig things. These are great. I find some of them. Some of the Waves ones I've used. What was that other guy? Now, let me just remind myself. I do have quite a number of Wave plugins here. So, yeah, Maserati. Yeah, that's right. That's him. CLA and stuff as well. The Maserati and CLA ones, I think they're good. I think it needs to. A lot of these guys are maybe get a different way of starting out with sounds than I do, because I sometimes put these things on and they don't make the sound better. They make it off with tinny and stuff, but I don't think that's because they're bad plugins. Clearly they know what they're doing. These are Grammy award winning producers, a lot of these guys, but I imagine the raw material maybe sounds a bit different from what mine does, because it doesn't input well, doesn't work. But Jack Joseph Puig, I'm not saying that we've got the same methods, because he's got like Fairchilds and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, he's basically making I think it's Ocean Drive in is it LA? I think in Hollywood. Yeah, basically, but there's a studio that's Frank Sinatra built it one on. He has well, I think it's his studio, I believe, and he's just got racks and racks of analog gear and stuff. So Waves has recreated a lot of the kind of things that he's done. There's a lot of great plugins, really, really good for vocals as well. Where is it here? Twig Child. Yeah, see this here? This is a beast. This is based on a Fairchild, but hilariously entitled Pwig Child for Jack Joseph Pwig. That's a really cool plug-in, because basically what you get is the real sound of a Fairchild. I mean, I've never heard a Fairchild personally to compare. I've never had that joy. There's not so many Fairchilds. Fairchild compressors like the 1959 Les Paul, if you like, of the audio world. It's one of them things that, doesn't come up often for sale, etc. And yeah, probably about, 50 grand for an original one. Probably 10 times that in due course. But anyway, right, okay, so Jack Joseph Pwig stuff. This one here, absolutely brilliant, man. Love it. Yeah, and I've got this on a setting I've made up here. Now this is it's a kind of tone shaper type plug-in, and it just sounds great, man. I've experimented with a lot of different EQ and compression settings and stuff, and really worked a lot with the Logic in-house plugins, because I do believe don't just buy hundreds of things. You need to just really work through everything methodically. I've probably only now got to grip with a lot of plugins that I've had for 10 years, and that's the truth, because I just jumped in head first. I want to get creating. I don't want to be messing around and waiting and kind of figuring out every single bit of patch. Some people really like that, and that they go off in that, but you probably find they're not got much time for actually making music as well. So you need to you need to read the manual, obviously, but you certainly need to kind of get stuck in at some point as well. And this is really just a real cracking. It's a kind of combination of different, I would imagine, compressors and EQs and stuff that Jack Joseph Pwig himself will have, analog style. And it's something that's modelled the signal path, and it just sounds brilliant on guitars. It just makes them sparkle as they should on a record. So here we go. I'm going to take off that. There we go. I'm going to put the Pwig Child on the guitar. You can hear it. I like to crank these things up full and see what kind of sound they give, and then we can pare them back a bit, So you get them cranked on full first, and then pare it back to that. Then the sound that you're getting. You can listen to it come in. So. Yeah, so off. I mean, you're not going to hear that if you're listening on a phone or something like that, because that is kind of very slight, but it does enrich the sound a bit. Nice in presence. I mean, I like to put a lot of compression on guitars. You want to make them stick right out. So let's hear how that sits in the mix. I think we need to work on this drum a bit. Yeah, so. Like so. Yeah. Yeah, I think just maybe getting something a bit harder. Now, I could build these things from the ground up, what I say, but you know what? Let's keep it simple, man. Keep it simple, stupid. Because we only get so much time. I don't want to be sitting here all night like I would normally making these. I just want to give you an idea how it is that I would do these things. So yeah, let's go and find. So I've downloaded a lot of songs, I say. Much better than standing around in a shop listening to sample CDs for hours on end. It's much easier to use, and it's like all you can eat samples, all you can eat up to a point, 100 credits a month or however many more you want to buy. But anyway, right, so let's get a wee look at what we get. We want to kind of see, because I do believe I've got quite a lot of these downloaded already. So let's see what I've got. Oh. Big EDM snares. That'll probably be thumping and really, really loud. Let me turn it down a bit. There we go. Oh, like that. Yeah, these are things that I've downloaded and it's almost like my kind of online sample collection of. Yeah, so let's get a wee bit more of a kind of, I like that, I just get a bit of top end on it. Let's get that sample in there. Yeah, these are ones that I've looked at earlier. Here's ones I made earlier. Well, I didn't make them actually. Borrowed them. Now where the hell did I put that? Right, there we go. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, drop that in there. And the great thing, Logic, just pull it out like a like opening up a packet of Rizzler. Not that I'm a smoker. Yeah, sorry, on that note. Anyway, right, okay, cool. So let's have a listen. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna I'm gonna go for loops in this just to build it up quick. Yeah, going in and writing in the parts and midis all very well, but often I find I'm getting the same results. If I want an 808 bass drum loop, just a sim 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Why not look it up? I mean, you can write it in, but writing it in sometimes good if you want to change the key and stuff like that, and you actually need to pitch the bass drum in. But anyway, we'll stick with mostly loops tonight. So yeah, we're obviously gonna have to put in some kind of yeah, we're gonna have to put in a snare loop at some point. But I did hear a bongo loop in there, so these are all sound quite good. Another thing as well about samples is they sound very good coming straight out of the box. All these samples, you know what I mean? They yeah, they sound great already. I've got, well, say, as a professional recording engineer, I'm consistently having to engineer things to sound good. Let's say if I've got, like, you know, bagpipes coming in, which I do get, and funnily enough, I've been known to specialise in, believe it or not, but still, it's a good lesson though for me because the frequency of the things is mental. They're giving off all sorts of crazy frequencies acoustically, and you can't just slap a plug-in in that to sort it. It just sounds nuts, you know. So what you then need to do is really get good at EQing and taking little bits out of the sound and compressing it as well, you know, and getting something that just really sounds, you know, like it's like it should be. You know what I mean? But anyway, right, so let's get us bongo. Yeah, I like that. Classic bongos. I've got a set of bongos downstairs. Bloody painful, I tell you. So let's see how that all sounds together. Yeah, that's cool, man. But what we need to do is make sure that, I mean, that bongo loop almost seems a wee ball fast to me. A wee ball hair. There's a good Scottish term for you. And by the way, thank you for tuning in. If you are watching tonight's show, unfortunately, I can't answer any questions tonight though, because it is just a rerun. Anyway, but aye. So let's see how this is sounding. Here we go. Let's make sure. I think we need to what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the channel here. I'm going to delay that bongo. You should always. I think, you know, it's good to mess around with the channel delays a lot, and when it comes to rhythms, because even just putting a loop back a few milliseconds just gives it a bit more swing. You know what I mean? You definitely experiment, and sometimes you get bass drums when or a loop you put it in, it starts to phase. You know, these are things you wouldn't know. I mean, you could argue, oh, you just throw all these loops in, oh, make up a song, and it's dead easy. No, it's not, because you need to know how to do it as well. There's little kind of quirks that if you don't pay attention to will ruin the sound of your production. You know, so many songs I found that I done 20 years ago with out-of-tune bass drums just because I had a set of Jamo hi-fi speakers, and I wasn't getting the bass for a start. I was right in front of them, which didn't help as well. Or the neighbour who was on a night shift, and I was then there banging out the tunes, and I mean banging out the tunes, man. Sorry, Mrs. Roberts. Anyway, right, okay, so yeah, I'm going to put a channel delay on this bongo loop. Here we go. So I'm just going to delay it back about 15 milliseconds. Here we go. That swings a bit better. Yeah, that's nice. We like that. That gives it a wee bit more vibe. Yeah, let's see how it sits with the extra track. And it's all swinging together. At the moment, it seems to be. You got to be careful when using swingy rhythms to make sure that they do indeed all swing as one. Okay, so let's hear how this is going. Yeah, that bass is just. wee bit kind of toppy coming through. I want a wee bit more body on, a bit more meat on the bones, shall we say? Here we go. Guitars, I'm going to delay them a bit as well, as in just put a wee bit of channel delay, but I mean, if I say about my own guitar playing, it's pretty tight, so I don't need to really do too much to a lot. I do like to get a live guitar in as much as possible. It just makes the whole thing swing and have a live feel to it, you know. So, but still a wee channel delay on it. Let's see how this works. Oh yeah, that's good. I want to put on a wee bit of the shakers myself, man. So I've got a microphone plugged in here. Just make sure that's... There we go, that's on, yep, good. I'll put it on my vocal setting, which I generally just use a wee bit of channel EQ, but RVox, that is the one. Makes everything sound wonderful. I use it lots. Okay, and a bit of de-esser. De-esser, man, maybe not needed so much for shakers and stuff. But I'll show you that shakers, it just provides a bit of groove to the whole thing. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so, just get my shakers out, you see? My shakers out there. Yeah, now what I'm going to do with this, yeah, it loosens up the top end. Shakers are really kind of... Yeah, I know it's a kind of trick some drummers use as well. See if a drummer plays a wee bit at a time and it's not really gelling, you know, to get a kind of, you know, wee bit of the rhythm on the go. Actually, yeah, it makes the whole thing swing in time. It can almost kind of fill in the cracks groove-wise, but I mean, not so much for this, because this is more sequence rhythms we're dealing with here, but yeah, it still can add a wee bit of flavour. Okay, so just to show you, when I'm playing the shakers as well, I'm playing kind of two, that one hand's going, another hand's filling in the gaps, like kind of, yeah, it's kind of, I wouldn't say stereo effect, oh, it's stereo from where I'm sitting, but I mean, we're just on the one mic. Also, when you're playing shakers, tambourines, anything like that, I mean, for one, don't put your fan on, because this is Glasgow and it's toasty at the moment, unbelievably. But anyway, yeah, so this is the mic over here, yeah. This, we want to be about a metre away when we're playing anything kind of shakers or anything like that. If you're playing any kind of, you know, tambourine shakers, etc., and you go right up to the mic, it's horrible, kind of like, you know, I don't know, like scratching sound. There we go, so you can hear that as well, a siren in the background there. What I lovingly refer to as the Kilton horns of Glasgow, because anytime they go past, it always makes me, I hear that Doppler effect and I go, that'd be good in the track, and I have done that. I've used it in quite a number of tracks, and people have thought the same when they've heard it, a mix of the song and they've heard the siren going by. But anyway, I digress. Right, okay, so the groove, so yeah, just to add a bit of flavour to the whole thing, you know what I mean? It's nice to have that. We can drop in a loop, etc. But nah, let's keep this one organic, you know. Here we go. Oh, yeah, obviously try to avoid the feedback because I'm online at the same time. If I just yeah, okay, so I'm going to take that level down a wee bit. They do produce quite a lot of levels, funnily enough. Shakers and tambourines are very loud and are definitely felt very loud by the mic. Here we go. Take that bloody click off anyway, man. Certainly don't need that. Okay, right, so... What I'm going to do is put on a set of headphones. That makes sense, so that the speakers don't come through the mic at the same time. Yep. Okay, so let me just get myself strapped in and ready to go. There we go, that's about right. Okay. You won't have any problem hearing it at your end, guys, but here we go. don't need to do that. I mean, I would do that. I just do that for the whole track because I think it provides a good groove. But you get where I'm going with that. Okay, so I'm just going to chop it up at the moment. But yeah, I like to get as much of it live in as I can. Actually, on that note, what I like to do when I'm recording is give it a, just give it a live flavour, man, you know. And that's one of the things that really does it. You don't ever do that. You wouldn't want to be a live bass drum or a snare drum. No, we'll get them sequence, but all that kind of, you know, hi-hats and stuff and, you know, tambourines, and I just give the thing a real flavour, a real shake. The shake. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to quickly edit this. Gonna get a good look. Not that one. That's like you're kind of like, you know, you're ramping up to actually being able to do it properly at that point. It doesn't come on quite as. Here we go. So. I think here it'll be good. Yeah, maybe even actually just take a bar's worth out of this. Can you hear my foot in there and everything? Pop, 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 pop. Can't help myself, man. I get sucked away in the groove. So, right, I'm just gonna, add a wee bit on here. There we go. Yeah, about channel delay now. 10 milliseconds. And I'll just copy that out across the track. That's cool, man. We can bring that in and out as required. Yeah, it's got a good flavour to it. I don't mind using just a loop as well because it does give it a bit more rigid kind of, you know, dance vibe, man. Make sure I label the thing so I know exactly what it is. I haven't even saved this. Goodness me. Something to make sure you do at regular intervals is actually save your tunes, guys. Because, yeah, come a cropper if it messes up. But a lot of programs do that for you, thankfully. Right now my computer is just doing it. There we go. Right, okay. So what are we calling this? What are we calling this? I just called this shizzle because I thought some shit, you know, some shizzle. But you know, actually shizzle's a pretty fizzle. G shizzle on the hot nizzle. Yeah, we'll call it shizzle. Here we go. Shizzle. I like to date things as well. Always a good idea. Date your, if you ever print CDs, remember them CDs? Yeah, always date them and stuff and date your recordings because make sure you get the right date as well. So when you go by and you try to scroll through all your tracks, man, yeah, you realise why you should have labelled them with the dates on. Anyway, so that's just going to save these samples. Yeah. Aye, thank you for joining us. If you have tuned in, like I say, this is a rerun, but tonight I'm giving you all the secrets, man. I'm giving you all the kind of actual things that I do use on my productions. Okay, and a lot of good stuff in here. We're going to work on this track week to week and just get go through the process. I'm cutting corners to an extent, but nothing major. But I would say if I'm working on a song, I could be working on it all night. You know what I mean? I'm doing about an hour and a quarter or so here, but I mean, I would say to get the song to where I want it to be, I'd probably sit for about 10 hours or so, you know, and then we're kind of, you know, that's even before I add in vocals and stuff, but that's just getting the bare bones down still, so it is condensed, but yeah, let's go on with it. Yeah. The shakers, you put them right down in the mix and you just give a wee bit. Yeah. Do as well. Something I use on everything, sample delay. This effect is brilliant. This there we go, sample delay. Yep, I use this on everything, man. This is great. Like, there we go. Just splits up the nice stereo. Delays one side by however many milliseconds. In this case, we'll keep it quite wide. We'll keep it 581. There we go. So. Yeah, that's good, man. Yeah, man, that feels good. That really feels good. Now let's get this bit sorted. A big massive reverb. Yeah, I'll send this to. In fact, I might put on my outer space effect, which is a version of the Rowan Space Echo. I've talked about it previously. I use it a lot. It's just a classic sound, man. It's one of them things that, yeah, I love reggae, I love dub reggae, and this is used all the time. And it's used all the time. Dance music, it's influenced many things. Lovely. Another effect of mine that gets used extensively, and rightfully so, is a tremolo, kind of slow panning left to right type. If I just turn that sample on and the effect on itself, so you hear that going from left to right, yeah. That's good for creating real space in a track, that, man. That's the thing would kind of lead you to believe. Outer space. I want to make sure the first hit's louder than the actual repeater, so yeah, that's cool, I like that. Let's copy over these effects, because I'm once again using the Waves guitar amp plugin, and the send here is going to this outer space. There we go, it's a double track, lovely. What I'll probably just do is actually group them together. So I'll group them together into a bus. That could be, you know, space guitar, we'll call that. Call them something obvious that you're going to remember as well, because, you know, you can be too clever naming things and then not know what it is when you get 50 tracks in front of you. So that's space guitar. I might try dropping that, my guitar plug-in again, this Jack Joseph plug thing. Yeah, here we go. Let's overbaking that a wee bit. Here we go. Each of these are kind of does something different totally. Yeah, that's nice, man. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put, after that delay, that outer space delay, I'm going to put on a big reverb, and that's my go-to. Valhalla. Yeah, here we go. That Valhalla on its own, it sounds lovely. That'll be quite a lot of EQ on that verb as well. I don't like big bassy EQs, you know, sorry, big bassy verbs. If you get a big bassy verb sound, it swamps the place, man. It's like even the old bands, you would hear people like using a lot of kind of like reverb and a bass, say a lot of kind of, is it a Jesus and Mary chain? I think, yeah, that kind of just big heavy sound, but still often it's not flooding with bass, you know, because it's not that bassy on the reverb. You put reverb on the bass end or something, it sounds pretty horrific, I think. So I've actually swept out, but I've only swept out to about 255 hertz. This is the reverb I'm talking about. This is the Valhalla reverb, but I have put my own EQ in it. Okay, I've taken a couple of spikes out of places that annoy me. Yeah, I cut an own frequency. I just feel reverbs impart their own tone. There's this, you know, there are a couple of error points in tone. I mean, yeah, talking about like digital sound. I've worked in like digital recording since it came, you know, since you could record audio into it, which was the 90s, late 90s or so, you know, and it's like, yeah, you need to know how to temper digital. It's it's a horrible sound digital in its purest form. It sounds absolutely fucking murder, you know. So all these plugins are nice and stuff, but you still need to sculpt it a lot of frequencies, I find, in digital. And I think, you know, people talk about tape saturation and stuff like, yeah, I mean, yeah, tape saturation, I mean, but there was also tape hiss, don't forget that one, but still, things like that, yeah, I think they're just a wee bit more forgiving to certain frequencies, you know, analog waveforms, but the digital ones can be awful harsh, you know, so you do need to always take spikes out of place. I think that's how I've kind of learned to get a real warm sound from a computer effectively, as well as plugins that I've used, but over the years, even before I had these plugins, just learning the frequency bands and, you know, what frequencies are annoying. Here we go. So right, enough talking. Take a bit of bass off of that kind of space guitar, it just dominating the sound a bit. Yeah, it cleans it up. Sounding nice. Let me just check and see if we are still indeed recording here. It'd be a horrible thing to think that I'd been spending all this time talking all that rubbish for it not to have recorded. No record of the nonsense that was talked. No, I'm only kidding. Anyway, this is, let's say, this is a track we're working on. If you have tuned in, this is a track I've been working on last week. It's just purely something to come up on the spot, purely for the sake of showing you what it is I do. So, we want to get a big fat snare. Maybe not a big fat snare, but kind of something quite live would be nice. I like those bongos. They're lovely. EQ them a wee bit though. Yeah, 2.5. A wee bit in there. Take a wee bit of the bass off it, actually, just to let the bass do its thing. Nice to get everything in its own place and not in the other frequency bands. You can make things, I think you can make a mix. Yeah, you can make a mix sound really nice by just getting things EQ'd properly. It doesn't need to have something, yeah, like an effect used or whatever, or even the compression sometimes. If everything's EQ'd and everything has its own kind of area where it excels, everything that's kind of like, say for instance, like a bass will be around, you know what I mean, down the maybe 80 hertz, above from there and whatnot. But that's really where its main frequency. Guitar, is vocal hams about 1080 hertz as well. Guitar, yeah, probably guitar hams across the frequency range, but still a bit, probably just under a kilohertz. But certain frequencies are just where things are happening, and that's where their action is. So if you can take those frequencies, not always, but if things are clashing, take those frequencies out of other things. If I'm trying to get everything to sit on top of the vocal, I would take a lot of I would group a lot of channels together and take them out at 1080 hertz for the male voice, maybe at 1120 for females. They're just areas I find that are kind of where those voices are happening most, but still you do that and it almost makes it sit. Well, it does make it sit on top. The vocals always in sitting on top. And there's nothing I hate. I hate it. I've heard it in local radio and stuff, bands that are done recording, and the guitars are more trebly than the vocals, and it just kind of it makes it sit back, which is not nice, not what you want. But anyway, here we go. Right, so yeah, that's good. I like that, man. Let's maybe put that on a. I'm going to set up one of my reverb settings, snare verb. This will be just a kind of yeah, there we go. A kind of tight room reverb. It's good to have these plugins ready to go always, man. Save your settings if you make good ones, because yeah, you can always just go and call them up again. Okay, so I make that room a bit smaller. Yeah, I make something that maybe a wee bit off the wall that's not. Yeah, I'm feeling maybe just something just a wee bit kind of synthetic sound for that, something really weird. Yeah, that's tight reverb sound, so yeah, it's almost like a gated reverb, it's so tight. Yeah. Let's see how that sits in the mix. I like that. Here we go. I'll take it down a bit. Yep. I can find a bloody thing. To do on the old Outer Space, as it's called. Yep, I was going to say Space Echo, but it's a copy of our own Space Echo. Yeah. This intensity makes it feed back in itself, which just sounds great, man. So check this out. Okay, I'm going to program this in at the moment as I go, and that is in bus. Yeah, bus. I will not. I actually need to program the channel strip without Outer Space on it. Here we go. won't drop in the big delay trip that early, but still you get an idea what's coming here. I'll just do it properly. That's me into the automation there, just changing it. Here we go. So here we go. So I was just kind of, I was moving around the intensity button, and it was basically just makes it feed back at itself, and you can see here what we get. Yeah, I like this effect. It's just a real classic one. Yeah, obviously, these things can feed back a wee bit too much. That was quite loud there, but that is a cool effect actually. I might just take that down in volume there. Here we go. So. I should maybe start laying out some orders here, but I put in a snare. I like to almost, well, not almost, I do a program in a kind of the full jam, when it's all kicking off mostly, but, there's the endless loop of that out of space there. I'll just mute that at the moment, so, because it's going to drive me mental. But anyway, yeah, so, I was saying there, actually lost it. I get lost in that. That loop drove me a wee bit mental there, actually, that outer space loop there. But yeah. Anyway, right, okay. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, so basically when I'm putting together a track, I like to get the kind of full section when it kicks in, you got all the drums and everything in, blah, blah, blah. Just throw it all in on every channel, and then, strip it back and then stagger it and bring it in, especially for like 12-inch mix and stuff like that, bring it in bit by bit, maybe start with just the drum loop, then the kind of bongos come in, then maybe the bass, a wee bit high-end stuff. But at the moment we're going to find something snare. We want to get this kind of groove more or less kind of finished. I've got to, I believe, go and have a drink with my brother who's home from Hong Kong at the moment, and I'm running over about an hour or so that's good. But yeah, we're going to do this every week, like I'd say, until we get it. Now, it'll probably take another couple of sessions or so, but all along, I'll be giving you my top tips and tricks. Okay, nearly couldn't say that there. Yeah, but anyway, right, here we go. So let's get some kind of snare back. Yeah, sometimes I just end up standing about dancing too much to my music. You don't get it done. You need to be disciplined and just kind of stop listening to it, stop enjoying the loop and getting on with it, Oh, here we go. There's another wee guitar riff forgotten about. This is a kind of guitar riff that doubles the bass, which is always good. I call it the island reggae effect. It's like Bob Marley's guitar. That kind of any reggae type guitar part or any reggae bass parts, they always have a kind of muted guitar part playing along with it, and this is what this is here. Here we go. So it just has a bit of top end to take off. Put it on there. Yep. yeah. Bring those bongos down a bit. Turn up the reverb on it. Yeah, that's nice. By turning up the actual send on the room reverb and turn the volume down, it just creates that effect. It's almost like in the back of the room, which I like. Yeah, it creates space in the mix. It makes it, you know, as if you can see yourself in that room almost, you know. So let's get some snare. But anyway, while I'm doing that, let's play this. I might settle for what you call a top. A top's a kind of top loop. So yeah, let's see what we get in here. 2 seconds. Yeah, so we want a top loop. Let's just call it tops. Tops. How many credits have I got left this month, I wonder? Quite a few. Tops. So tops are 1, 2, 6 tops. Look, yeah, kind of. No. I want to put my snare in. You know, I'm just interested in that for some reason. Let's see what does that bring to the table. Yeah, I know, we've already used that. That was actually used in a Billy Newton Davis remix of them recently. Aha! Right, okay then. I'll stay away from that then. So let's get something else. That's often the thing as well. Use a loop in one thing and it can often be just associated with that in your head and you think, no, I need to move on and do something different. Let's see what we got here. A wee bit EDM-y sounding, but I quite like mixing it up, you know what I mean? I'm interested to see what that might bring, so we'll take a wee look. Here we go. What else we got? Yeah. Yeah, that's a kind of boom back. That's good. That's got a good feel. I like that. It's got a rhythm in it on the hi-hats. That might clash, you know, so we need to be careful. Yeah, something like that. Let's see. I think a lot of these are probably too busy. Yeah, I'll just look for loops. So now I can do here, you know, I can actually specify just what I look for loops. You know, that's very handy because not often, you know, I mean, you get a lot. You look up snares and you get a lot of individual hits, but you can specify the tempo, what you're looking for, what kind of tags you want, what genres, etc. Very, very good thing to have for production. It keeps things streamlined. Yeah, we don't need any of that because that's got kind of, you know, effects on it ultimately. So let's see what we've got. Anything kind of like snare wise. Oh. Right, the one I was downloading. I wonder if I've used that recently because that's good. But yeah. The swinging that's not matching up with the track, so we can't really use it. It's a wee bit straighter actually. So what I need to do is get a top loop that's got a wee bit of a kind of swing to it. Sort of say a wee bit less swing to it, I meant to say. So this one here, that's a bit straighter sounding, yeah. Let's see what we get. How does that work out for us? So a wee bit out of time. Let's see if I can adjust that with the channel delay and see if it kind of gets in. Yeah, it doesn't need brought forward, maybe backwards. Yeah, I think, you know, probably not needing a top because needing just an individual snare hit. Reason being is that's, yeah, it's too much a skip to the actual sound. So I've downloaded quite a few snare drums in the past. Let's see what we've got. Snare. And I'll specifically ask for a one shot in this case, okay? Yeah, good. There's a good snare disco, a disco snare. I've used that in a couple of things, that's good. I like that one. These are all good. These are all my favourites that I've kind of downloaded previously. Like I say, it's just like an online sample collection. This exists on my hard drive as well, thankfully. But let's just put all these snares in and see what comes up. That Leno snare, interesting. I like that kind of snare sample, that's cool. That's that kind of clap almost. Yeah. Well, there we go. It's a very Lindrum. Yeah, maybe see about a clap as well. In fact, I tell you what, I'll sort out these drums first. I'm going to addition all these samples individually. I'm going to addition them, see if they're good for the part or not. I would just throwing the whole lot of them in actually. That sounded pretty mighty, although they're in the wrong kind of beat at the moment. I'll move the one now. Oops, here we go, move one up. That sounded pretty fat, man. I'm almost tempted to use the whole lot of them, but no, we'll just put them all, line them all up. So they all happen on the right hits, which is in the second, or sorry, yes, second and fourth it should be, there we go. Yeah, it's a big long sample, that one there. I wonder why that is. Who cares? Here we go. Move it back. So all of these I'm sticking on relevant beats. Yep. There we go. Yeah, so we've got the samples like, I'm going to put a wee loop here. Okay, that's the first sample. Got a fat disco snare there. Yeah, next sample. Big, quite a fat kind of sound that as well. This one there, clap there. Cool. Okay, then. Very Lindrum type sound. That's got a lot of bass in that Lindrum sounds. I'm just very Prince in it, which is I'll tell you about as fast as all seems to sit a wee bit behind that, so I'm going to actually just delete all them together. I'll see reverse, but the minus 10 millisecond delay. Me again, 20. I'll just do one by one. Yeah, that one's actually quite lazy, that hit. I mean, this is the thing with samples as well. See, when you look up samples, you know, you drop them into your DAW, your Logic or whatever, and you're kind of expecting it to be right lining up perfect. But sometimes, you know, the sample might start a wee bit before the actual start of the wave, for instance. And if it does that, then it's going to come up a bit delayed. So that's where your channel delays, they're real handy tools. You really need to make use of them with anything you do groove wise, because if things are just sitting on top of each other, sometimes they phase a bit and you lose a bit of power. But you often find, like, especially with big heavy kind of bass drum notes, if you delay that sound a wee bit and just put it behind the kick, then it can actually make it sound a lot bigger as well. But let's see what we got here. Okay, so yeah, that's definitely quite a lazy hit. There's me, I'm just pulling it into shape now. Maybe too much. Then next sample. I think that's probably been pulled forward too much. I'll line the two of them up. Here we go. Now the next sample sounding. Yeah, I don't want an initial attack of that sample because it's quite a sound. I don't want an attack to come in too early. Here we go. That's nice, right? Yep, cool. If it comes in too early and it leads the kind of sound, then it's the first thing here. I think there's other better sounds there, but it's good tail on it. What's this? Okay. I think that probably needs delayed, as in back the way, because I globally set them all back, or sorry, forward 21 milliseconds. I'm going to set this back about 10 milliseconds just to give it. Yeah, much nicer feel, yeah. And let's see what this is. That's the big LM drums in. I think the whole lot of them globally need shifted now as well. let's see how they all sound together, because I think we probably need to move them. Yeah, we need to pull them forward a wee bit, and here we go, pull them forward 10 milliseconds. Nah, more than that, another 10 milliseconds. Yeah, back a bit, back 5 milliseconds. I just like to mess around and make sure it gets right on the right feel, yeah. Yeah, it's alright, man. Maybe group all these together in the one kind of snare bus, just so that they're all, you know, I can move them all in one volume control. Sounds about out of time then, altogether. Channel drive, just so that it really grooves, man. These wee micro differences, this is the thing that makes funk musicians and people that understand disco and stuff, you know, and that kind of real groove based style. There's a whole, it's almost like quantum world within the beat, you know. What I mean by that is, yeah, there's all sorts of kind of wee micro grooves in there, if you like, and things that will make all the difference, you know, to the overall swing of the thing if you get right into it, if you get into the kind of quantum physics of it, if you like. And that's really what that is. You're using those micro, like I say, the millisecond moves, and you need to kind of get an ear for it, you know, to do it for a while. But you should start off just messing around and see the difference it makes, especially with drums. Always makes things really tight, you know what I mean? Here we go. So let's hear this is sounding. Yeah, maybe take that drum out. I get carried away with these things, but anyway, yeah, so if I was to kind of lay this out on every one of these hits as I do, I just group them all together, keep it straightforward, there we go, and then I copy them all together again, and keep stacking them up like that. It just makes the whole thing easier to copy as you go. G-man's top tip, there we go, and then you end up messing up the beat in one of them and it'll get out staggered out the wrong way. But anyway, let's see, I probably have one. Yeah, that's alright, okay, so here we go. Oh, we're still in step, well done G-man. And that is literally about 5 snare drums. I'll probably spend a wee bit of time EQing them, taking a wee bit of bass out of some of them, taking a wee bit of, always a 300 to 500 hertz. Horrible shit happens in there, so we generally like to get rid of it. But yeah, so that's that copied across there then. So, here we go, so if I was to just start this song. Yeah, so what I'm going to do very quickly, just before I stop, I'm going to say, man, go for a pint with the brother. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to stack it up slightly. So if I just do this in 8-bar sections, okay, this is a classic house formula, 8-bar sections. Let's just do a wee chop at every 8 bars here. Okay, so Yeah. There we go. So, right, so we don't want to snare in the start, definitely not. That's when it picks up more, you know. But anyway, still very busy to start. We want it really basic, I would say. We all guitars take all of these kind of all of these newfangled things, these loops in here. Yeah, take them down. Not bad, maybe two basic. I do like that though. Yeah, we don't want that as a kick-in loop. What is this? Bringing that later. Maybe we do start with that actually. I need to copy these out. For some reason they didn't want to split when I done that, so there we go. Yeah, is that right? Make sure they're all the same length. Yeah, I just need these all separated out so I can mute them as I go. They're all in 8-bar chunks here that I can just, you know, switch on and off. Yeah, zap, 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 zap. Strange. Why is that all coming out in a strange fucking... Anyway, yeah. Okay, so I'll sell that in a second, but yeah. Maybe bring in some... Yeah, that's because it's off the beat for some reason. Why is that? Yeah, so we want to just make sure these copy up to be here. Then I'm going to split them. You just zoom in here and make sure that is right on the 9 mark. Yes, it is. Okay. And I also need to see if they didn't copy over level there. They kind of seem to be a wee bit staggered. So I make sure the intro and the outro, yes, indeed, are right on 8 bars. Perfect. There we go. There we go. Right. Okay. So I'm just going to copy them out now. Once again, seems to come up straight. Yeah, so yeah, that's quite a good intro, I like that. I'm going to keep that going again. Yeah, another one of them. Dun, dun. Maybe bring in the bongos there. Yeah, so here we go, next 8 bars. Yeah, that's good. Bring in another loop. Can't remember what one it was. Hopefully it's this right. That's the old G man there. A wee bit of verb on those shakers. A wee bit of yeah, and then we start coming in with the drums here. We don't need them in there. That comes in off the beat, but I quite like that. That's cool. Maybe keep that. Then bring in another loop there. This loop here. What's this? That's the more kind of kick-in loop, I believe. So let's get that in there. Right. Don't get a snare in there, right? Enough. You know, so that then then we get another loop to go. That snare sound is too much. Yeah, I guess maybe that one is. My goodness. That's the thing with Glasgow, you know, I've left my window open here and I've got the biggest moth I think I've ever seen flying about. You It's telling me to go home. Maybe it's my missus, the moth lady. Anyway, fucking goodness me. That's a big one. It's right on the mixing desk as well. Fly, Mothman. Off my fucking mixing desk. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'll be chasing that around for the rest of the night in here. Anyway, yes. Okay. Yeah, that snare. I'll probably just use that snare on its own. I like that one. Let me EQ that out. Oh, a wee bit of fat on the bottom end. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Turn on that funky guitar. Too funkin' loud. Anyway, so here we go. So. Just taking the gain of them down a wee bit. Yeah, let's try a wee bit of snare reverb on that. Yeah, that's quite a good basis anyway. But yeah, let's get one listen to how this is going. This is coming together really nicely. This is definitely getting used, man. Liking that, man. Very good indeed. Dare I say so myself, you very arrogant man, Gregor. Anyway, yes, aye, this has been fun. I'm really enjoying this track, if I dare say so myself. And I really need to enjoy myself, because otherwise there's no point in making a track, you know. But yeah, that's great. Next week we're going to continue on with building this track. But they're just really getting some groove in and stuff like that. But yeah, next week I should be live. Thank you for joining me, and remember to check out hotknifeshouse.com. That's house as in H-A-U-S, and you get a list of all the kind of previous shows. I'm putting all these shows on YouTube, because obviously they're only on Twitch for so long, maybe a couple of weeks, but on YouTube they'll be there forever until they probably start charging us. Who knows? But anyway, I thank you very much for joining us once again, guys. Fantastic. And you guys keep up the good work and keep up the questions as well. Okay then, thank you very much, guys. See you later.